Hello and welcome to Lobricks. This is our weekly LEGO Star Wars Hoth video. Last week we added turrets to help the rebels defend their base. This week it's time to add some footprints to our walkers. They didn't just pop in out of thin air. Alright, so the first question you have to ask yourself is, what does blue Play-Doh, it's actually turquoise Play-Doh, have to do with a Star Wars LEGO Hoth MOC? Well, I'm going to tell you. We are going to use this Play-Doh to mold the feet of the walkers, so we get an idea of exactly the build of parts that we want to make footprints for the walkers. Then we're going to build and place the footprints, and we are going to have to do some measurement and physics and calculations.
This equation works for planetary orbit.
Find out the exact placement of the footprints. The hardest one is going to be the lead walker, because he is literally going to have a set of prints going back. The rest of the guys are only going to have one or two at best. And maybe this guy here, the downed walker, will have, I don't think he'll have more than one set. And when we are done with that, we have some speeder work to do as well. And don't forget to stick around to the end of the video, because we are going to be placing a minifigure on the board, as well as a cool cinematic flyover of the changes we're making today. So with that, let's put some footprints in the snow.
I traced her little footprints in the snow. I found her little footprints in the snow.
Alright, I don't know if I'm going to need 2 jars of Play-Doh or just one. I bought 2 just in case. We really only need them the size of walker feet. It's going to be a little tricky because I'm going to need to lift up one of the walker's feet and stamp it in Play-Doh so we can get a good mold for the build, for the LEGO build. Man, a lump of Play-Doh just won't come out of there. Ew. I remember this stuff. Remember, it smells kind of funky. It's got that Play-Doh-y smell. Alright, I think we can get away with just one. Now I'm going to have to lift the walker's legs up. And these walkers are real sensitive. You know, when you touch them, they don't like to be manhandled. They're kind of like the dogs of the Star Wars universe. So I'm going to be a little careful here in stamping this walker's foot in Play-Doh, because I don't want to get bit. All right, I'm just going to lift your foot up here just to get a stamp. So no, settle down. It's going to be okay. Hey, settle down. You know what? This isn't working. He's getting very nervous. I'm going to get Lobricks in here to show the walker that it's not a big deal. Okay, Lobricks, we're just going to show this walker how it's done here. And so AT-AT, if you're good, you're going to get a treat, just like Lobricks. Okay, we're just going to lift his foot up and stamp it in Play-Doh. Oh, he doesn't. Oh boy. Oh boy. Uh-oh. That's okay, Lobricks. Let's take a look. Well, you know what? You took out one of those walkers, so now they only have 4 to deal with. Okay, fella, Lobricks did it, so you can do it. I know it's scary. Let's just take a second. Press your foot in there. There we go. All done. All done. All right, so here is my Play-Doh mold of a walker foot, and we are going to do. I was going to say reverse engineer, but it's not reverse engineering. It's actually, I'm going to call it reverse inlay. So we're going to build up around the outside. I'm going to lay in some bricks in here so we know what it's going to look like. So when I first thought about doing the footprints, I thought I would do them pretty pure, like actual steps, and building them out like this in an upside down fashion. And this would work because I can mount them to the base plates. But there was one problem. When the walkers are walking in the picture, they're kind of doing these little slide steps. So this would be a little too perfect, and not to mention, these would stick up. You really want the pieces that are kind of mushed in. So instead, I decided to use just regular old plates. And I will lay them out here for you, and then I'll show you what it'll look like on the MOC. And the reason I'm doing this method instead is because now it'll look, these will be raised up, and the outside and the inner circle will be pushed in. It's a little difficult to do, and I don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical because they're not perfectly symmetrical. They're kind of sliding. And it looks a little weird right now. So let me show you what it'll look like on the MOC. And then I can put some dispersed snow around it, just like I did the groundwork in Echo Base. We can build up around the footprints like dispersed snow. And we think this will look a lot better. And you really can't tell until it's on the MOC. But let's put this guy on the board. Let's build our first footprint. It's going to look mostly like the pattern, but it has a little bit of it's not so symmetrical. It's a little more loosey-goosey because the feet are sliding. So let's put our first footprint on the MOC and then build them out behind it. All right, the first thing I want to do is measure from the front foot that is stepping to the front foot that is following, which is about 5 inches. So the footprints in the front are going to be about 5 inches apart. And then the last thing I need to measure is between the front and the back leg, which is about 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is go about 5 inches behind, and that's going to be the front foot. 4 inches behind that will be the other front foot, and then it's 6 inches between there and there for the 2 back feet. Okay, now that we know the measurements, let us start our first footprint, which is going to start exactly 5 inches behind, which is right here. We want the inside of the footprint to be inlaid, so we're going to have to redo this landscaping a little bit where we had a footprint. So let's go over to hyperlapse mode, build our first footprint. All right, so here is our first footprint. Let's see it from the back. Here it is from the back. And I don't think we are going to be able to do all of the footprints tonight, but I want to take a quick second and talk about how many we're going to have for each. So I did the measurements. This guy is literally going to have 8 footprints going back to here. It's actually more like 6. This guy is not going to have any footprints because there's not 6 inches behind him. This guy is going to have 4 footprints in the snow before he fell to his doom. And the Dak Walker, the reason I call it the Dak Walker is because he smushed Dak. No! This guy's only going to have 3 footprints. Footprint here, Dak is smushed, don't need a footprint, and a footprint here-ish. And then finally, for this guy, we also need 2 footprints. 16 footprints! That's a lot of footprints. So we are just going to do the main walker today. We will do the other footprints in the future, including smush Dak footprints. All right, so let's cut back over to hyperlapse mode and build the rest of the footprints for the primary walker in the front. All right, well, I think it is time to bring in assistant. I was only able to get done 4 footprints, and man, it wasn't easy.
All right, guys, so Leaky has finished making the ATATs footsteps here. They're looking really, really good, and I do like the way that they kind of are spaced out here. It looks good, and I think it's gonna match up. And as we start adding more throughout the MOC here, we're really gonna start adding so much new texture out in the snowfields right now, because everything's looking a little bland and kind of plain, where if we take a look inside Echo Base over here, we've got tons and tons of greeble detail in and throughout all of the spaceships and different vehicles we've got going on over here, which really adds immersion. So I think once we do that out here with the ATATs, it's really gonna make everything kind of blend together, at least as far as the ground goes. But anyway, for right now, I do not like these speeders being here. I think in the future, once we start building out these trenches a little more, these speeders are gonna be a little closer. So I'm gonna grab Leaky and see if we can move these out a bit or just rearrange things here. All right, Leaky, so I really wanna move these speeders. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. They're too close to the trench. We have to be a little careful. We don't want to get them too close to the walkers. but I'm thinking like up and over, like, I don't know, just like maybe 15 studs, something like that.
Yeah, that would be nice. And I think we're definitely gonna have to rearrange these a little bit. This one's probably gonna have to get a little higher because right now it's kind of boosted off the trench.
Oh yeah, I got me more of these translucent clear
tubings.
Yeah, tubings.
So we're gonna have to extend this one a bit.
Tubulars.
But anyway, let's get it moved. All right, so there we have it. The speeders are now more adjusted a little further here. So it's really gonna space everything out. We don't wanna move them too close out because they really descale these ATATs when you're looking at them. So we can put them right here. It's not gonna be too close to the trench and it's not gonna be too close to the ATATs. So it's really gonna work out here well for us. But
yeah,
anyway.
I think we gave the trench a little more breathing room. It was like the spears right on top of the trench.
Yeah.
And I know we want to have one kind of coming out. I'm thinking more and more we want to have it in a little bit, or else it's going to make the door look small. And then we wanted one that's kind of zooming out. Not sure about that. Then we're going to have one in the back.
Yeah, so I really do like the way that these guys are sitting now. They really add a lot still, but aren't crowding the trench.
I think it looks better with the other speeder too, hanging over the walker.
Yeah, that one's going in for the attack. It does look like it's over a bit. But anyway, guys, that is the speeders. So let's get a cinematic look at the progress we did today. Alright, so now that you saw the beautiful footprints and the snow speeders in depth, I think it's time we add some more minifigures to this MOC. It's always good to add more minifigures. It definitely adds life. And today we're going to add two little fellas here to the trench area. First up is this guy. He's going to be moving this box. So if we want to position him, we're going to go over here. Just kind of have him right around here. Positioning, you know, holding some sort of box.
There, how's that, assistant?
That's pretty good. So now he's pushing along this box here. So that's going to be our first guy. Of course, we've got some trench work to do here in the future with incorporating this gun. But the second guy, as you can see here, has got himself a bottle. He's going to be drinking, you know, drinking away the sorrows of the battle here.
I think that's Wampa milk.
Yeah, it's Wampa milk. So he's got to, you know, I'm gonna have him just right in here, just kind of leaning up against. He's been injured. And he's going to fit nicely in here. But anyway, that's gonna be the minifigures for today on the MOC. I know it was kind of a weird episode, moving some stuff around and adding some footprints, but we really gotta start, you know, doing these little details here and there, like this big chunk of a mountain missing, so we can start to get this MOC finished up and then start working on some of the more larger projects over here. But anyway, I know it was kind of a weird one today, guys, with the footprints, the moving of the speeders, but we really got to get in the small details filled in everywhere, like the big chunk of a missing mountain, so we can start bringing this MOC to a complete status. So we just got to kind of jump around, well, from mixing in some bigger projects like the shield generator with some of the smaller stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want more content, definitely look into the member program because we're uploading planning videos and all types of nonsense all over the place all the time. So just check that out. It's pretty cool. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you made it this far, you're really cool. But anyway, see you guys in the next one.